All right, we just started recording. Tonight's webinar is all about backtesting optimization. So we're just picking up where we left off yesterday, and we're gonna get right into how to backtest and optimize Titan AC inside of NinjaTrader. I'm just loading up a previous version of Titan AC NinjaTrader because the current one is not working for optimization. And so this will just be for demonstration purposes, but of course we will have the fix out ASAP after this call. All right, so here we are. Okay. Perfect. Okay, should be good.
All right. So the first thing we're going to do is as soon as you log in, if you're going to be backtesting or optimizing, we definitely want to have a data connection unless you have data stored locally, which is a little bit more advanced. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and connect to our data source. So go to connections and then connect to your account.
Yep, there's that top step connection, which we went over yesterday.
Mhm.
Now we're connected.
And then you should see your connection, your green dot, and then you'll see your accounts under the account section.
Yep,
So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to new at the top left and strategy analyzer. And here's where you're going to do both your backtesting and your optimization all in this one window.
Okay.
Quick overview here. You'll have all your stats on the left side here. These are customizable based on whatever you want to see. Up at the top left, you'll see display. You can change the type of information that you're going to see. We'll get to that after we do a backtest. And on your right side, you'll see everything when it comes to if you want to do an optimization or a backtest, and then which algorithm you want to test, and then all the settings below it. So let me move my face out of the way so I can see what you're doing. On the right side, so we'll go to backtest. We'll do a backtest, and then strategy. You'll choose the algorithm you want to use. So we can choose Titan AC. What this is going to do, it's going to load everything that was programmed into the algorithm, and then it'll have some general settings at the bottom that we'll get to when we get close to running it at the bottom. So first of all, let's start with the top. We can go over the basic settings. Joe, you're probably a little bit more familiar with these settings. I only had a little bit of time today, but this is basically all the Titan AC settings.
Yeah.
And then you want to go over that?
Yeah, I'll just go over it really quickly. We want to keep the focus on just how to run these, how to run a backtest and optimization in NinjaTrader. So this individual settings, I'm going to be releasing a settings explain document that will go over in more detail. But basically, I mean, this is all the same stuff we have in Titan AC. The momentum filter is new, but yeah, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. Basically, you just choose the time frame and period for that should be an for the momentum filter. And then if it's I don't remember exactly how it works actually off the top of my head. So instead of saying something wrong, I'll just say we'll look forward to that settings explain document. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, all of this is probably pretty familiar. These loss limits here, these are going to be different just because it works differently in futures than in Forex. So we're used to, equity protector. In futures, you have a daily loss limit instead, which is essentially the same thing, but it does work a little bit differently in that it's trailing. So, yeah, it's a little bit different.
Perfect.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much everything. Just
Great.
quick overview. Yeah.
So what we can do is we can do a very small back test. We'll go ahead and set one parameter and we'll see what it looks like. And then we can play around with it a little bit more and get a little bit more familiar with it. So in order to do that, you have to have at least one thing checked that you're going to be back testing, and which you just did by checking that box.
Yep.
So you'd be back testing those MAs. Everything else that's unchecked will not be included in the back test.
Yep.
Obviously everybody knows the more you check, the longer it's going to take. So one thing to note about these schedule settings is that when you have an optimization, when we get to the bottom, there's a little bit difference with scheduling. So if you have schedules built into your algorithm, that is going to play into one of the settings at the bottom, and I'll get to that when we get there.
Okay, good to know.
So all these here are Titan AC settings. I see you got the hedge settings as well.
Yep.
The first general section that we get to is the data series. Now, unless removed by a special algorithm or version of Ninja, this is always going to be there. Obviously, you need to select which instrument you're gonna optimize against. So go ahead and pick an instrument you want to backtest with.
Okay. This is the same one we were looking at yesterday. So
Let's do M&Q March 24.
okay.
It's just the most recent. So priced based on last price, you have ask and bid as well. Unless your algorithm, calls for an ask or bid, you probably would leave it on last. Most people do. Yesterday, we decided on minute chart with one value, which means 1 minute chart. I was actually incorrect, and Joe was correct. But I want to note something. If you put this on tick, since we know that from Tyler's presentation that all these are going to be in tick values, we have 4 ticks bar. So you're going to be make sure that um, you're setting this parameter correct, because if you put this at a 1 tick, it's going to go very granular, and it's going to go down to the tick of every bar if you have the data available, which makes your back tests a lot longer. So for the sake of time and explanation, we can go through that a little bit more maybe tomorrow or the day after, but let's put this back on minute and leave it at 1 minute.
Okay. So for the most accurate um, data, most accurate results, backtesting results, do we want to have this on tick?
Yeah, so yeah, you're going to have this on tick at 1 tick, and then down below we'll change another setting, and that's going to be the most granular you can get.
Oh,
It's going to take quite a while. I've had one running since before we started the webinar, and it's only from January, and it's still not done. So it's going to take some time.
gotcha. Okay. So this minute and value of 1, is this just running on like open prices minute data?
Right, open, high, low, close values. So this type parameter right here is your chart type. If you hit that drop down, you'll see all the different chart types. So if your algorithm, for example, uses Renko charts, you would use the Renko option down here at the bottom. You have all kinds in here: volume, ranges, ticks. You have all your time settings, so time-based bars. Whatever your algorithm is going to be using, you'll definitely want to choose the correct chart. 99% of the time, it's pretty much it's going to be tick, or it's going to be time-based. Actually, I take that back. There are a lot of Renko. There are a lot of Renko. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
there you
Uh,
go.
yeah.
We'll leave it on minute.
Yeah.
Oh, you're breaking up. Can't hear you.
Yes, that is very important.
Yeah, it seems like you're having audio issues. I don't sound garbled, do I? Gotcha. 1 second. It's not the Joe show anymore. Yeah, Victor, I'm gonna have some documentation written as well, step by step, and I think BEF will as well. We'll answer questions until Joe gets back. Yeah, so I have a wiki page for yesterday's call. I do have one for today, and actually I have one for both backtesting and optimization. I'm just not ready to share that out yet. But I'll get that summed up and we can get everybody access to it. You know, Con, you said a demo account data for backtesting. Can you clarify? You can run multiple prop firms per NinjaTrader instance, but if they both use Rhythmic, you cannot. You need to have 2 instances of NinjaTrader. And you can only have 1 instance of NinjaTrader per machine, so you would have to have a separate machine. There is a leaderboard planning, Raj, for features. The sim account, Sim 101, comes with any account you have in NinjaTrader. What you're going to be looking for is the data to do all your back testing. There is a free option. It's called Kinetic, but you have to be logged in every day to get the data pulled down. You can't just download it. Well, there probably are places you can download the data and import it, but it's not easy. It's probably best to use your prop firm data. If you have, it depends on which prop firm, but I would confirm with them about having multiple accounts from the same IP. I have multiple accounts from the same IP. Myself and my wife both have accounts, and I've confirmed with TopStep and Apex. That's not an issue. But I would advise you to do the same. Yes, you can run multiple accounts from the same NinjaTrader instance on the same prop firm. I think I have just under 18 Apex accounts and a TopStep account on another machine, and I trade with a TradeAvate account on the same NinjaTrader instance. So I basically trade from TradingView. That sends my trades over to my Apex and my TopStep. Titan will close positions automatically based on the settings you put in. And you can schedule bot start and end times, correct?
Okay.
There
My
you
bad.
are.
Are we good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So sorry about that, guys. Thanks for your patience. I don't know. That's never really happened before.
Edgebot information, I'll let Joe go over that at some point.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that should be released this week. We've already done testing on it and all's working as expected, but just want to do one final check before we release it. So we're very close with it and should be released this week.
So one more question I want to answer here. So it's besides Top Step, what is your next choice? Obviously, we have Top Step, Apex. I would go with probably my funded futures or Elite Trader, but everybody has their own preferences based on the rules.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to answer one more. You can have 3 Top Step accounts running at the same time. Yes.
Okay. So we're back.
Right. All right. So we were on the, I
Yeah,
think
the
the
data.
value. Yep. Minute chart with the 1 minute is the value. So you're on the 1 minute chart at that time.
Yeah.
M and Q. Let's put that at 2 minute. So change it to a 2.
2 minute chart. Okay.
Yeah. Just to see what happens. I haven't done that today.
Okay.
So the start date. So this is the time frame you're going to be back testing. So you'll set your start date for your back test and your end date. If you're connected to a data connection, which you are with TopStep, if you get outside of the current contract range, it will go ahead and pull the data. There is a limit. For example, if you're on a tick chart, and you need to back test, let's say 4 years, you're probably not going to be able to get that far and it will just stop. So you need to make sure that you have the data available, and we'll look at how to verify that here in a moment once we get to the right before the optimization part.
Okay.
So right now we're in March. Obviously we can go back, I think 180 days with Top Step, or no, it's Apex. It's one of the two, but we have plenty of time to be able to go back on the minute or 2 minute chart. Um,
Cool.
if we were going to do tick data, but this is minutes, so we should be good. Trading hours is based off of what you're connected to for your instrument. So, for example, if you have an instrument that trades only from, let's say, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And cuts off, then it will use that time frame in this back test. If you have a 24/7, such as let's say you were trading a Bitcoin future, that's 24/7. You would have all the data available, and it would backtest all the data available. In this case, it's going to be Monday through Friday, and it will go after hours as well. The break end of day checkbox is kind of important, and I encourage everybody to hit F1 on this page and go look at what it does. But in a just to give you a summary, at the end of the session, what that's going to do is it's going to stop the candle at exactly the end of the session instead of letting it finish and continue on to the next candle in the 2 minute chart, for example. So if your algorithm is dependent on that information, it will have an effect. So make sure that you understand what the break at end of day will do. Yeah, if you click on that link right there, you'll see a nice little diagram they have in here. And there's one with break versus non-break. So you'll see the break end of day enabled below, and then the non-break above, I believe. Yeah. So you can see the data, how much more data there is in that candlestick. So that's going to give your algorithm more data to work with, whether it needs to end in profit or end in a stop loss. So it's going to give you more data at the end of the day.
And for these prop firms, I mean, they're all breaking end of day, right?
They are. Every single one that I've come across is going to require to be closed out by the end of the day.
So that said, then we should always have this checked.
I would almost always leave that checked. I can't think of a time that I've not had that checked.
Yeah. Okay.
So the next setup section is for basically, how many bars we're going to look back, including commission as well. So commission is it's difficult to set up, and I never include it because if it varies based on whatever you're using. You can go through the trouble and pre-setting it up, and I can show you where it's at if you want real quick. If you want to open up the command center down there, the other NinjaTrader window.
Yes.
And if you right click on SIM 101 account, which is what we're going to be using to backtest with, and go to edit account, you'll see here you have the commission. You have 3 commissions by default in here. Each one of those comes with a difference. So based on what you paid NinjaTrader for your license, and we're not using a NinjaTrader license, we're using in this step top step, but it'll be a different commission rate based on whatever license you have in the system. So this is where you would choose it, and then you would check that box in the back test, and it will use that commission.
So how would I use the commission that's for my Top Step account?
So you need to go look up the commission rate for it, and you would need to add it in here. I think it's under tools.
Would it not be okay, it's still there.
Yep.
Okay. And would
So
you just be able to type it in here like or
no,
something?
so you need to go add it into the account first. So what you'll do is close this and go to tools,
Okay.
and then you'll see commissions in this drop down. You'll click on that, and
Okay.
here you can go to, you see at the very bottom of this left column, you can hit add, and you can add your own specific. Uh, for example, you could say top step commission, and then on the right side here, you can see all the CFDs, the cryptos, the futures. If you want to put your minimum per unit commissions in, whatever your prop firm is going to tell you, you can add
Okay.
that value in here.
So I could do like Top Step MNQ commission or something,
Right.
and then I would just need to add the
So
MN.
go, yeah. So go. Yep. You would add. Yep. Hit that drop down. You can add your MQ. And then you can put in whatever your commission is. I can't remember what it is for top step right off the top of my head, but that's how
Yeah.
you would do it.
Okay. I'm
And
sure,
then
if we were to reach out to Top Step or search their help center, we could find that information.
yeah, yeah, and it's added right here.
Okay. Cool. Just wanted to see how that was done.
And then so that'll show up in this list, and then you can check that box, and it will use. Well, actually, you would hit OK here, and then you would tell Sim 101 account in the background there to use the top step commission. And then when you load up your backtest window, you check that box. It will use top steps commission.
Okay. So I'll just pretend like well, I guess we could.
Yeah, just put a penny in there or whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And then we'll press OK.
Yep.
And then
And
we'll
then
go.
you got to go back and tell Sim 101 account, right click on it, go to
Yeah.
edit account,
Okay.
and then you can go to commissions, and you can add the top step and make commission in there.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. But we probably don't
And
want to do that since it's only a penny or.
yeah, you can actually, yeah, go ahead. It's only a penny. They'd be
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
And then under back test, if you check that box, now commissions will be applied per whatever you've configured as well.
Cool.
All right.
Got it.
So I know that's a little bit of a pain, but if you take the time and do it up front, then you don't have to worry about it anymore, as long as you save your
Right.
settings.
Right.
Minimum bars look back. There's 2 options. You have 256 and infinite. I would never choose infinite because I mean I can't think of a reason you would need to go back all the way unless you're on a really high, time frame chart. But
So this
um,
is going back 256 minutes.
256 bars, yes, correct. In this case,
256. Well, I guess it's the 2-minute chart, so I guess it would be
times 2, yeah.
512
Right. So
minutes.
right. And the bars required to trade right underneath of it is 20. And that can be changed by strategy as well. For example, I have a bot that requires 26 bars to be exact. So I need to change this every time or else my numbers will be different. It will still take trades, but it will be off because the algorithm that I'm using requires that. In this case, we're on a 2-minute chart with MAs. Your 20 bars is plenty, I think.
Okay. What's the difference between bars required to trade and maximum bars to look back? Like,
So it's basically it's a bars to look back as a data population item.
yeah. Yeah.
And bars required to trade is as a default setting that's going to be used. If you just started on a chart, and your bars required to trade is set to 256, and there's not 256 bars available for the day, for example, for your algorithm, it won't take a trade until that requirement is satisfied.
Gotcha. Because I was just
And
thinking, I mean, we need 100 bars, to get the 100 MA, right?
yeah, moving average of 100. Well, you would need them all combined. So the highest number, right? So 100. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it would take the average of the last 100 bars. Um,
I think you're correct. Hit F1. Let's see what their definition is.
so
Just to
maybe
see.
we would have to change this to 100. Let's see. So we just go here, backtest properties. And I love this. We can just have a question, pull this up. What was the name of the one that, okay, maximum bars like backs. Calculating indicators value. Okay, bars sets minimum number of bars required before orders will be allowed to be submitted. Yeah, it feels like that
20,
should be
yeah, so 20 would be the minimum. So I think 20 is fine.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll just leave it there for now.
That's usually that's mainly used. I've seen it used before in an instance where you need basically the last three sessions. You would need a
Yeah,
minimum of those bars in order to get a trade idea for an algorithm, and then it would have to take the trade. So I'm not sure why you wouldn't hard code that in your algorithm, but sometimes I guess you would need that.
okay. All right.
So the next one is a very important section. This is your historical fill process. This is where you have basically your OHLC version, and then you have your real tick version. So standard is going to be your open, high, low, close candle, where it's going to look back and at your candles and give it the best MA in this case, based on that candlestick in the past. It's going to also be the fastest. If you're on a tick chart, it's not really going to, if you choose standard and you're on a tick chart, it's not really going to use that because it's only going to use the open, high, low, close portion. Unless it's specifically coded in an algorithm, but I don't think Titan would have done that. I don't think they would have gone through the extra effort of doing that when it's built into NinjaTrader here, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Okay.
So with high, when you choose high, it's going to go down. You'll see some. Yeah, go ahead and click it. You'll see which type of chart do you want. So if we were going to be super granular, we would choose the tick chart at one tick, and that's going to give you basically every single tick of every single bar until the beginning date of whatever your start date is above. And that's obviously going to take a lot of a lot of performance and a lot of time to complete, but it will
Mhm.
give you the most accurate results based on historical data.
Yeah. Okay. I think when we ran these settings the other day, it only took like we ran like a month's test and it took like 3 minutes.
We can give it a shot.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. I'd be curious.
The next thing there is fill order limit orders on touch. If you're using limit orders for your algorithm, in case I don't think we are because we always use market, but that will simulate basically getting entered directly instead of waiting in line. As we know, there has to be someone else on the other side of the trade that wants your whatever you're selling or whatever you're buying. There has to be someone there. So this simulates that someone is there, and will fill your limit order immediately.
Okay.
Your slippage there, if you have a little bit of slippage based on, for example, if you're trading from the other side of the world and you know you can't get a VPS in Chicago to run futures, and you know there's 10 slippage of points, then you need to go ahead and or 10 ticks of slippage, then you'll go ahead and put that in here.
Okay. Do prop firms have that much slippage? Or I guess it wouldn't be prop firms, but just have you noticed there's this much, like, is that pretty typical in futures market?
There's a little bit. I would leave it at 10 because it's going to based off of it's based off of where you're at, how fast the algorithm gets the order in. You can see it in your in level 2 data if you look at that stuff, and then yeah, whether you get filled before other people or not. So usually 10 I think is pretty good. And usually if you have multiple accounts, you'll get some latency behind it. Usually, like if you're copying, like for example, if I have 18 accounts and I'm copying, usually when it gets to that last account, there might be some slippage there as well. But um, I would leave it at 10. I don't ever go above that. We can also do a back test with 10, 0, and then we can do 100 just to see the difference. I think
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody said
Entries,
I've never seen more than 2 tick slippage.
yeah, I agree. I've never seen anything that bad. 10 is just a basically very conservative. Futures is pretty spot on. I mean, that's one of the great benefits of it. But um, if you're copying, I mean, from like 40 accounts on, three different VPSs or something, maybe you'll be a little laggy, but that could be due to just latency, not slippage. But if you want to simulate that in a way, you can do that here.
Cool.
All right. So the next section here is order handling. So entries per direction. This is going to allow you to, if you want to enter, let's say 3 longs in a row, this will only allow one. So you can set this if your algorithm is going to take more than one trade in one direction, you'll need to adjust this appropriately.
Which Titan X would, Titan AC wouldn't, because Titan AC is only taking one trade at a time. But Titan
So we can
X, will need as many as the max level setting.
right. So we can leave this at one.
Yeah.
Entry handling, since we're only using one, it doesn't matter, but I'll explain it. If you go all entries, so this is going to handle all entries the same no matter what. And then if you select unique, it's basically going to assign each entry its own unique ID or magic number, whatever you want to call it. And it can be handled specifically. This is great for algorithms that, for example, will throw entries out into a strategy, and then it'll take 2 out of the market at a profit, and then leave 1 as a runner. This allows you to go ahead and have that handling, let your algo to do whatever you want to do for your trailer or whatever kind of strategy you're running. In
Yep.
this case, we'll just do all entries because it's only one. And then you
Perfect.
have exit on session close, which is required by prop firms. But like I said, if you have for example, a Bitcoin future that goes 24/7, you wouldn't check that. But in our cases, almost always, we're going to probably have this checked.
Yep. Yep.
And
So
then,
just, oh, sorry, go ahead.
one more thing at the bottom there, you'll have template where you can save this template if you want to come back to it and edit one small thing, or if you want to load a previous template, you can do it right here, or you can reset the entire. Uh,
Yep. Let's see. Titan AC backtest demo. Okay. So just to recap here, these are um these are the tester settings essentially.
Pretty much.
So we just selected an input, or sorry, we selected an instrument. So like a symbol, in Forex that we want to trade. Price based on last, we're always going to leave that on last. Type, we set this to minute. Tick. So yeah, we can leave it on minute. I'd be curious to then go back because so what does it mean if we have this on minute and then this on tick? I mean, do you know by chance?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the best way to explain it. So your data series basically is going to be it's when it's looking at price, it's
Yeah.
using the 1 minute chart in this case.
Yep.
But down below you'll see your historical fill processing. It will well, I don't think it'll actually get down to the tick at that point because it's not looking at that. Someone in the chat might correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to fill that way. I've never done that, to be honest with you. I don't think it's going to fill because it's too low of a processing than what you're looking at for the data series.
Yeah, yeah.
So I
Okay.
think it's going to be whatever's the lowest is what it's going to be able to get to.
Gotcha. Okay, so like this might as well be set to standard fastest is what you're saying.
Yeah, I would leave it there if you can leave it on minute up above. We can change this when we run
Yeah, we can
through.
go back and just see what, how long this takes and then go change it to the most granular and see how long that takes.
Right.
Kind of interesting. Okay. So we did that. So this is going to be kind of, approximate accuracy because it is only using open, high, low, close. Which for anyone who's not familiar what that means, instead of like if you're using, for example, a trailing stop loss and you know, gosh, what's the best way to explain this? Um,
So yeah, every time the candle, is formed, you have an open price,
Right.
yeah, a high price, a low price, and then where it closes. And basically, when you're looking back at this data series, um, we know that the candles have ticks. They go up and down through a candle most of the time, and sometimes if you have very
Basically,
granular strategies, it will use that information. In this case, it's only going to be able to see when it opened, how high it got, how low it got, and when it closed, and that's it. So if that fits your parameter for your strategy, then it's going to take an action based off of that information alone.
right, right. Yep, exactly. Nice. Okay, so yeah, anyways, so that's that. And then yeah, we're always gonna leave this at break at end of day because that's what prop firms do. We included the specific commission for the prop firms. We're leaving this on the default. Um, leaving this on default.
You want to
And
save your template again since you changed the
yeah, let's do that. Okay.
hit run and let's see what we have.
Did we need to download the data first?
No, you're already connected to your data connection. It will go ahead and pull that in for this contract.
Okay, cool.
And there we go.
Sweet. Easy. That was super fast.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's one of the benefits of Ninja Trader. If everything lines up, it's pretty quick to back test with.
Okay, awesome. And can we see, okay, yeah, start date 1/1/3/18/24. Perfect.
Curious if it did the commission. Yeah, it did your commissions 14.32. So that was a lot of commission for one penny. Wow. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess 716 trades. Yeah, that's right. Okay. There is a visual mode equivalent. We'll get to that here in a bit.
Cool.
So yeah, so now that you have your stats there, if you wanted to save these off, you can always export these out by right-clicking anywhere, export out. If you wanted to save it. In my case, I save all these when I get a good one and I run it through AI to get all kinds of fun stats on it, but that's another topic. Up at the top left there, you'll see display. So you can change the way you want to display the data in this window. Up here, you have summary, you have analysis, which you see a lot of online. You'll see analysis, you'll see the chart. In this case, it goes down. And then in this one, I like this because you can see your cumulative profit columns at the top there. I'm going to probably make this a little bigger. We can see
Yeah.
the average or the column names there. Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go. So you can see your trade when it was taken, what number it is, and what your cumulative profit is. And all these rows up here can be, or these columns can be edited and changed out based on whatever you want to see. And then you can save that as a template. That way you're not inundated with all this data here if you don't want to see it.
Okay, awesome. So win percentage. So are these all the individual trades? No.
Yep. Well, it is yeah, so it goes in order by day. Look at the top. So it started
Yep.
on 1/1 all the way down to the end.
Yep. Okay. But this isn't the 700 trades. I mean, this is only a handful.
Yeah. On the right side there, if you go back to the settings again.
Okay. Oh, it showed only the top ones?
That would be
Yeah.
just for optimization, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay. What did you want to see in here?
Looking at the dates, I'm trying to see when it closed these trades. It looks like just like daily. Oh,
Results.
we're on the daily. Yeah, that's why. Okay. Go up to the top where it says period.
Yeah.
And we can change this to trades. There we go.
There's all
There's your trades. And you could sort it by
700
number.
trades.
There you go.
Okay, cool.
I forgot that it defaults to daily. That's right. And there you go. You like what I like about this is you can see your cumulative profit. For example, for prop firms, we know that we have to stay within the bounds as we're going up or down to make sure we don't break the rules. So if you're, for example, if you run a successful back test and you see that it starts off and it goes up, and you get to, let's say, if you have a 50K account and it gets to 3,000, you know you would have passed at that point. Now, coming up, you'll be able to, when we get to we can change settings on the right side here to make it stop at 3,000.
Okay.
Passed.
Sorry, say that again.
So yeah, and then you could, like I said, you could set a take profit on in your settings for
Oh,
AC from what I saw, and it'll be able to take profit and stop at whatever the amount you set in there. So
right,
at least I know the version that you gave out had that in there.
right. So you would set this to like 3,000 or whatever. Okay, cool.
So yeah, so this is one of the good charts that's good to look at as well. Let's continue with the displays real quick, and then we can move on to the next part. So here's the chart. This is what a lot of people like to see, where you can go and you can look and see, what it actually did during the back test, and give you a little bit more data if you want to see what it looks like, and if something's wrong.
Yeah,
So based off your MAs, you'll see your entry, your one contract short right there,
yep,
and then
yep.
it looks like at the end it ended at the end of the day. It
Exit on
exited
session.
on session close. Yep.
Yep,
So, and
cool.
then you can always go back and look at that if you have a question. If you're looking through that previous list and you say, "Oh, well, what happened on that day? That's odd." You can go back to the chart and you can say, "Oh, okay, well that's exactly what happened." Gotcha.
Yeah, a lot of gaps in this chart.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, but the doesn't say the date on there.
Um,
What time are you at? You're at 4:50 in the morning. That's why. Yeah,
oh, okay, not a lot of volume then.
yeah, it's overnight.
Okay, can we try running it on that tick data and just see how long it takes? If
Yeah,
it
let's give it a shot.
curious. So up here, let's change this to not change that. Change this type to tick. 150 value. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, so 150 ticks. So each tick, per candle. Remember what Tyler said in his presentation, per candle. So if we're on 2 minute, put it on an 8 tick chart.
Okay, 8 tick chart.
Well, it's going to give you almost the exact same results, I think. But it's going to be a little bit more granular, I think. So we can try that and see how long it takes.
Okay. And you chose 8 because there's 4 ticks per minute or
Yeah,
something?
you're on the 2 minute chart, right?
Yeah.
So 4 per. Yep. So 8.
Okay.
You want to hit run, and we'll see what happens.
And then down here, we need to change this to high and tick as well, right?
Yeah, we can try that. You want to go ahead and shorten the start and end date?
Yes. Let's just go back, I don't know, a week.
Yeah, let's
Just
do a week just in case.
318 here, so 311. Okay.
And then down below, you're still in the 1 tick. So if you want to do order fill resolution, I think that's going to give you probably the best granular data.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know if it's going to take the 1 tick on the order fill. Well, let's try. Let's try with 1 tick. I've never done that before. I've always had them synced up.
These two the same.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Single series. Okay. Oh, full resolution single series. Hit OK. Go back up to the top.
Yeah.
Go up a little bit more.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to let you keep going. Simple 1 minute time frame. That's because we're running MAs on a 1 minute time frame. We have multiple time frames that is looking at multiple values. It won't allow you to do that.
Okay.
Hmm,
Let's just change it to the
think about
one.
that.
Where can we set it to the 1 minute time frame instead?
You'll do the same there. You'll just change it back to 1 minute and 1.
Why am I not seeing this?
It's highlighted right there at the or on the right.
This?
Yep,
Oh, time
that's it.
frame?
One, you do one in a minute above it.
Oh, okay. Okay, minute chart one, and then we're gonna try to do tick data.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to do the order fill resolution at tick because, like I said, there's multiple in your algorithm. You have MAs that can be on a different time frame. They're looking at MAs on a different time frame. So if they're not aligned, I don't think it's going to allow you to do it. But we can try. I don't think I've ever been able to do that. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So, like for example, if you have MAs looking on the 5 minute, but you're on the 2 minute chart, and you're trying to get resolution on the one tick chart, it's not going to work because it can calculate from multiple time series unless it's specifically programmed in the algorithm, which I'm not even sure how you would do that, to be honest with you.
Okay. Okay.
So
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I want to figure that out. How to
yeah,
get
that's something you have to ask the developer. Maybe there's a way around that. I'm not sure.
yeah, because we definitely want to be able to run the most accurate data. Basically the
No,
equivalent of ticks based on real ticks.
yeah,
Okay. Should we move on to optimization?
yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
All right. So in optimization, it's going to be just a few more fields that are going to be a little bit different, as we've probably figured. Hit that drop down on optimization one more time.
Uh-huh.
You have a couple different optimization techniques in here. So optimization is basically just optimizing one set of parameter or one single set of parameters for one specific target, such as let's say you're going to go for max profit or minimum drawdown, whatever you want. Walk forward optimization is basically the same thing as your forward testing in MT5, where you can basically do a set of data, have a walk forward, and do another set of data, do a walk forward with that. So it's actually multi-step, unlike MT5, which I think is from this time to this time, and then it cuts, and then it does another time. So this one's a little bit more robust. You can always hit F1 to find more information. Multi-objective optimization is if you wanted to, for example, you want to optimize for max profit or max profit and minimum drawdown. Or you can do more than two. You can do minimum drawdown, max profit, and hit rate, or whatever kind of optimization you want to do. And we get to those in a minute. And then you have AI generative, which is kind of an experimental where it basically looks at all the indicators that are built in NinjaTrader and tries to find you a profitable strategy based on whatever you set up. I've not played with that. I did talk to someone earlier who tried it, and he said it wasn't that great right off the bat, but I've not played with it that much.
Okay. So we're pretty much always going to be selecting optimization.
More than likely, the only other one we would probably do would be multi-objective. So if you wanted to do max profit and minimum drawdown or something like that, but we'll leave it on optimization for now. We can go over the other
Okay.
ones another. So going through the list here, you'll have your bot selected, Titan AC. Strategy name, you'll give it a name, whatever you want to name it. So if you're going to give this file out to somebody or say, try this optimization, you would name it here. Contract size is how many contracts do you want to put in, and I don't see a way to optimize that in this version of Titan. I know it's in the one you sent out.
Yeah,
You can try to hit semicolon. I don't know if it'll let you do that or not since
I
it's
don't
not
think
a
so. Yeah, I
default.
think
Yeah.
this older version didn't have that.
Yeah. So that's default. And then you got your entry settings and everything we know that you want to go through. So in that first one, you see where it says use entry randomizer is set to false. If
Yeah.
you wanted to play around with it and say, well, I wanted to set it to optimize, and what it'll do, click on optimize,
Okay.
and then it'll create it'll basically do every selection that's underneath of that. So it'll be true and false. So it'll run every back test with both enabled. So this is basically
Let's see.
doubling your iterations.
Yep. Yep. So that wouldn't be one to optimize. You just leave it
I
on true.
would honestly leave that alone until you finally got a decent strategy and you're like, okay, let me see if the randomizer really messes up the strategy and then try it.
Right.
So we can leave that as false for now.
Yeah.
Back test or optimize it.
But like, let's say we wanted to optimize our, moving averages.
Right. So down here, the moving averages, you can set your MA filter to true because we know we want to do those. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
And then your MA method, you can choose that to be well,
I guess
actually
it's only
this
simple.
version you can't. Okay.
Yeah.
This is wow, you guys did a lot of work between this one and the one that I sent out. Okay.
Yeah.
Time frame, you can hit the drop down for that.
Okay.
You can choose whatever time frame you want.
Yep. We'll just leave it on one.
And then for MAs, so hit that drop down and you'll see 10, 10, 1. So that means it's going to start at MA 10. It's going to go to 10 and it's going to increment it by 1. So in this case, it is not going to optimize anything. So let's say you wanted to do 1 to 10. You would put in minimum, you would put MA1.
Right. Oops. Oops. Okay. So that's gonna test the 1 MA all the way up to the 10 MA in increments of 1. So it'll test
Right.
1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Quick question. Go back to that simple real quick and hit the drop down.
There's no
There's
drop down.
got there's a drop down on the left side by MA
Oh,
method.
okay.
Did I not? Yeah, I didn't see that. Okay, so there it is. So yeah, so you can hit both of those and see where it put that semicolon in between the two.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would optimize for both of them. So I would say let's check them and leave them. Thanks, Michael.
I had them on there.
Yep, and check it.
There we go.
It's a little slow when you click it, especially on a VPS. But
Yeah. Okay.
all right, so there we go. So we have MA1. The moving average one is going to do 1 through 10, and you can set MA2 and 3 up to do the same if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure.
Let's do this one starting at, I don't know, starting at, we'll just do, yeah, 40 to 50 increments of 1.
Sure.
And then this one, maybe 90 to 100.
Yeah, so you can edit it directly in the line, or you can hit the drop down and edit the boxes itself.
Gotcha. Okay, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we could just optimize that for now.
Yeah. So then the rest are going to pretty much be the same setup. You're going to have the drop down, optimize true or false, and you're going to go through that. And basically, you're going to go all the way down to the general settings of the optimization. So if you get past the settings here, and if that's all you wanted to do, I think it starts with data series. Yep, there it is, data series.
Yep. So there's our pick.
Yep, you'll choose what instrument you want to do, and then your chart type.
Yep. So this is all the same that we just back tested, basically.
Yeah, it usually keeps it in cache. It keeps the same settings for these bottom settings until you restart.
Yeah. Okay. So it looks like these are
Right,
the
and that one's different. So we'll go over the optimize section here. So this is what's different. So you got key best results. You have set to 1. Let's change that to 10.
Okay.
It's going to give you the 10 best results for your optimization.
Okay.
You'll give it a name, whatever you want to name it. I just leave mine at default. I don't ever really change it because it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Optimize data series. If you check that box,
Uh-huh.
go scroll back up, you'll see a new right there under data series. You see a value.
Yeah.
Hit that drop down. This is your minimum max. So it'll in this case, it's only going to test on the minute. So if you wanted to do, let's say 1, 5, and 15, you would put 1 and 15 increment of 5.
Cool. You can't do that in MetaTrader.
Right. So this allows you to do multiple time frames at one time. For
Yeah.
now, let's just leave it on minute.
Yeah.
So you can either leave it checked or not. It's up to you because it won't change from here.
Doesn't matter either way, huh? Okay.
Here's where you can set your optimization on. It defaults to max profit factor. You can see from this list here, you have a plethora of things you can maximize for. I know a lot of people like to do that max R squared. I don't do that, but I mean, some people do. You can hit F1 and you can find all about each one of these here. And I can't tell you exactly what, what every single one of them does right off the top of my head, but like I said, you can look them up
Yeah, maybe.
go for it. Now, the one thing to call out with this menu here is that when we do like a multi-optimization, multi-factor, you can choose multiple items from this dropdown to optimize for. So it'll try to get optimized for profit factor, for example, and then minimum drawdown. You would choose those two from this list. In this case, we only have regular optimization, so you only get one. So I would just leave it on max, whatever you want to do. How about you pick?
Yeah, I did max net profit.
Sure, let's go with that. Optimizer is default. If you hit the drop down there, I'll explain what genetic is. So genetic is well, it's almost similar to the MT5 genetic back
Yeah.
tester or optimizer. So you can have a basically a more granular genetic. If you hit genetic real quick, I'll show you real quick,
Okay.
and you'll get a new option there called genetic properties, basically. And here you have the way I like to think of it is like a spider. So it'll test a random optimization. It'll take parameters from the optimization, and based on these settings here, it'll mutate those settings, and it basically keep optimizing for the best one over and over again until it gets to either the threshold you set here, a specific target that you have in mind, and it will also keep using the best results over and over again until it gets too granular where it can't run anymore, or it's hit whatever target you've set. So it can get pretty granular. I recommend everybody definitely go into the help menu and look at all these items, what they can do. They have a great video that kind of explains it a little better than what I just did. But for now, we're going to leave it on default because this is a whole another ball game right here by itself. Order handling, we went over that, and order properties as well. We can go over that real quick. I think that was different, but strategy. So you can override the strategy, and you can change the order entries. So we can change to 3 contracts or whatever you want to do. We can leave it on strategy at 1 contract for now. And then you have your time and force. So yeah, good till canceled, good for the day, whatever you're looking to do. Good till date as well. We
Okay.
usually just use good till close. So
Until close.
or
Okay.
canceled. Sorry, canceled. Sorry, I always get those mixed up.
Cool. I love I mean, I just all of this, it's just it seems to be like there's a lot more analytics, a lot more
Yeah,
options compared to MetaTrader, but it can also be kind of overwhelming because you have so many
very.
options. So I think, just that tip of, having that resource of just clicking the F1 button and being able to look up anything and get as deep as you want. I think that's really helpful.
Yeah, and it Ninja Trader is very robust when it comes to optimization, and the good thing about this is we get all these great tools built into this bundle,
Yeah.
and where futures is so static and it's like everybody is using the same data, it makes it so much better. So that's why I'm so excited for
Yeah.
everybody to jump into this, and especially BEF. So
Yeah. Yeah.
this is going to be exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, should we run this?
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Okay, let's see. And that is flying.
Yeah, and the optimizer is really, really good, especially you have a really decent machine. And I've back tested. I think the biggest one I've done is almost 1 trillion different iterations.
Wow.
It took a while, but I mean, if I was doing that on MT5, it would have taken days and days and days.
Oh, yeah, I mean, cool. So we obviously need to pick different settings because
Yeah,
none of the top ones are very good, but there they
yeah,
are.
that's the best you got is 39.71% profitable. But hey,
Yeah. Yep. All losers.
yep.
Oh. So I can select, so these are the different optimization results. I can click on one and then it gives
Right.
me
It gives you down at the bottom there. Now, if you need more room, you can always right click on one and open it in a new strategy window. Like
oh
if you pick that third one up at the top of the bar there, yeah, right click on that and you can open in new strategy analyzer.
yeah,
It'll open in a whole new window and give you a little bit more room.
cool. Yeah, just like we were looking at with the back testing.
Right.
There's the chart, there's the analysis.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. And that's how you optimize. I know that was a lot of data, everyone, to go over, but
Yeah.
as we do this more and more, it'll get better. There'll be some documentation to follow as well.
Yep, absolutely. And we'll do some Q&As as well, to just address everybody's questions. We'll bring on Jerry again, or maybe some other experts as well that can help us all kind of shortcut this learning curve. And then of course we'll get these bugs fixed as well and out to you guys ASAP. So, okay. Awesome. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much everything we wanted to cover tonight, right, Jerry?
Yeah, that was the basics pretty much of how to do all this. And I think we covered quite a bit of ground. I think let's let everybody take that in and see it and we can go for more another time. I told them while you were away that I'm working on some documentation for myself. I don't mind sharing with a few people, and I know you guys are going to have your own documentation as well.
Yep, yep,
Don't
yep.
worry, well,
We'll
it'll be out there.
standardize all this process. I mean, some of the questions I had, it's like, well, what type of data do we use? Tick data, or is the other good enough, or whatever. We'll have that. We'll get those answers for you guys as well. So,
Yeah, and
actually, yeah,
there is basically a market. You can simulate the market actually running, and you can fast forward it, and you can watch your algorithm run at the same time, like a visual mode. It's a little bit harder to get to because you have to have the data available to do that.
yeah,
But we can go over that maybe tomorrow if people want to have another AMA or have any questions, we can definitely go over that. But it'd be nice to just have that going in the background while we're answering questions or something like that.
yeah, yeah. That would be great. Yeah. So that's kind of like the visual mode, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yep, the market replay. And the other thing too that we didn't cover was that you covered for me the first time we met was the historical data center where you download data.
Yeah, and that'll play into that visualization mode where you'll need to have the data available to be able to go back and look at it because in order to properly simulate a candle in real time because you can fast forward all the way up to like 1000x, but if you're going at real time you can sit there and watch it and you would need to have actual data that for that minute if you're on a minute chart, for example, of
Yeah.
what the candle did, so you can see it, and then it moves to the next candle. So that'll definitely play into the data when we get to that part.
Okay, cool. Um, Freddie, I see your concerns. I just want to say one thing that all of this that we're going over, so anybody that feels overwhelmed by all this or just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, don't worry, you do not have to do this. This is totally optional. Um, it's just like in Forex where you're able to just simply copy and paste strategies into the bot and let it run. Same thing here. There's going to be strategies made available by us, BEF, for you guys so that you don't have to do this. And then you can just simply load it up on your bot and let it run. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed, again, don't. This is really just for those who want to learn more about backtest optimization, but it's totally optional. It's not going to be a requirement at all.
Yeah. So real quick, I want to show really how simple it can be. So if you close this window, Joe, real quick, and you
Yeah.
bring up the command center.
Uh-huh.
So if you see down at the bottom, you see strategies tab.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you would load into your account, right click anywhere in that blank space, and go to new strategy. You can basically choose the strategy right here. Hit yeah, Titan right there, and hit
Yep.
template and load. I think just load whichever one you want. And so
Yeah.
this is what you would basically get from like the leaderboard, and then you would hit OK, and it's now running on a chart. In this case, I think we saved it off as a different template, so it wouldn't work. But That's
Yeah.
exactly how it would work. And then it would be loaded up on a chart and it would be running at that point after
Yeah.
you enable it. So that's as simple as it can get if you're pulling it from the leaderboard, and you don't want to do anything. So just
And
know
that's
that
what most
it can be
people,
easy.
yeah, and that's what most people are going to do. They're just going to pull it from the leaderboard. They're going to do just that. They're going to load, that template file that, will be that you'll download off the leaderboard and just run it.
Exactly. And that's as easy as it can be.
Yep. All right. So I think we'll yeah, Hector, we'll get into the hedge bots later, probably not this week. It's not going to hedge MT5 accounts, it's going to hedge a futures account. And so the way it'll work is you'll open up a brokerage account for futures. So that could be Tradeovate, that could be NinjaTrader. NinjaTrader, it's kind of confusing. It's a platform and a brokerage. So you'll just open up a personal funds account with NinjaTrader or Tradeovate, for example, and then you'll be hedging that way. So it won't work with LQDFX, for example. That's only for Forex and MetaTrader. All right. Any other questions before we wrap up here? It's so Pierre, that's a good question. Is Titan NT based off of Titan AC or Titan X? So it's called Titan AC NinjaTrader version. So it's like, so it's basically the NinjaTrader version of Titan AC. Titan X will come later. Titan X for NinjaTrader. Do future prop firms have a copy trading rule? Do you want to address that, Jerry?
Yes, some might. For example, Apex encourages you to have many accounts and to copy those accounts if you want to. Top Step has a maximum of 3 accounts, I believe. So, and they don't mind if you copy either. But always check with your prop firm. Every single one I've come across, I've never seen them say copy trading is forbidden unless it's from a signal source.
Um, there is no leaderboard yet. We literally like this product is just fresh off the press, brand new. I would not recommend anybody use it live. We're just starting to play with it even ourselves internally. So this is purely for those who want to be on the bleeding edge of what we have coming and for anybody that is willing and wants to test with us. But this is definitely, not market ready. So with that being said, we also don't have strategies on leaderboard yet. We're just beginning to play with this, run our own optimizations, and build a leaderboard for futures. Jerry, Trader J Mark asked, do we need to make Titan AC strats unique as well for futures?
I think that's going to depend on your prop firm who you're with. I've never seen them enforce that or say you need to do that. Because if you remember, we're all getting in the same line to get to the same data. So it's the chances of you having an order at the same exact time at the same amount is pretty high, to be honest with you. The way the futures market is, but I can always say that it's doesn't hurt to make it more unique if you can.
Yeah. Michael, the time frame for a fixed version is going to be ASAP. I can't tell you exactly when, but I mean, with hopefully tomorrow, but you know, I would say, time will tell. We'll see how fast we can get it fixed and tested and everything. And just depends if we run into any like, setbacks along the way and whatever. So it could be anywhere between tomorrow and a week. Just depends. I always have a hard time answering that. Everybody wants to know when is it going to be ready? And I'm like, we're doing everything we can to get it ready as soon as possible. I don't know what else to say.
So very excited for it.
Yeah, yeah.
I was trying to do all I could before, in between meetings all day long, just to play with it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And like I wanted to as well, and I didn't even get a chance to today. So, but we've got a whole team that's working on it. So, um, how will Titan AC handle the difference between top step daily drawdown and Apex trailing drawdown? Assume the strategy will be tweaked. So far we're really only focusing on top step, not Apex. And we talked about this a little bit last time, but Apex, the payout process and rules for Apex are just really not ideal for most people. So that's the reason why we're focusing on top step for now.
So one of the big things with the new version that I've seen, one way you can deal with it is using the profit baskets. So let's say you want to do, $400 in a day, and then you would set your loss limit for the day, and that will go ahead and do that. But you got to remember that you're trailing all the time, so you got to keep an eye on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Backtesting and data restrictions. So backtesting, when you set off a backtest and you don't have the data locally available, it will reach out to whatever connect account you have for data, and it will pull that data in if it's available. If it's not, then it won't run. You can test that by actually connecting and trying to backtest something from 2014 or something, and it won't run.
Yeah. All right. All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Thanks everybody for being on. I hope that this was helpful. More training coming soon, updated files coming soon. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Q&A is the plan so far. I think we'll probably, I was just thinking like, are we gonna do that if we don't have a fixed version ready? I think we still will, just so we can go over like those things, Jerry, right? Like the historical data center
Yeah,
and
we can definitely show the historical data center, and then we can see it, do it live on history data, and
yeah, the
at least
market
see that
replay.
going. Yep.
Right. Right. So we'll do that at least tomorrow um and yeah, should be good. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Bye.